My name is Agnes, and if you're watching this, it means you're ready to hear the kind of story that changes you, that breaks something inside, but somehow also helps you find the strength to keep going. I've rehearsed this moment in my mind 1,000 times. What I would say, how I would start, but the truth is, there's no easy way to tell you about the day my entire world ended. It was a Thursday. I remember because we had jollof rice the night before, and I packed the leftovers for George's lunch. He teased me, saying I added too much pepper, but he still finished the whole thing. We were an ordinary family. I was a school teacher, English and literature, senior secondary. I used to read poetry to my students, words like medicine. George, my husband, was a civil engineer. Steady hands, kind eyes. He always smelled like pencil lead and that faint scent of engine oil. Our kids, Gift and Victor, they were my joy. Gift was 9 going on 10, always asking questions, always correcting my grammar. And Victor, my sweet boy, he couldn't sleep without his Spider-Man socks. We lived in a small bungalow in Enugu, cream-colored walls, a garden out front that I tried and failed to keep alive. It wasn't perfect, but it was ours. It was filled with laughter, songs, dancing, George playing the keyboard while the kids sang off key. That morning, it was so painfully normal. The sun rose like it always did. I made breakfast, akamu and akara. The kids were watching cartoons. George kissed me goodbye and said, "We'll be back before lunch." He wanted to take the kids to visit his auntie in Nsukka. I had work. We agreed I'd meet them later at her place. It was supposed to be a simple visit. Then 11:47 a.m. came. I was at school, midway through grading papers when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. A voice. Male. Calm. Too calm. There's been an accident. A terrible one. I didn't understand. I asked again. What? Ooh, what accident? He hesitated. Then he said my husband's name. Then my children's names. Madame, they were all in the car. I dropped the phone. I screamed, I think I did. I don't remember. My colleagues were around me, trying to make sense of it. One of them drove me to the hospital. The road blurred. My breathing was shallow. I remember praying, bargaining, God, take my job, take my house, just not them. But then I walked into that hospital room and saw the 3 beds, the 3 covered bodies. Everything inside me broke. I ran to the beds. I lifted the first sheet. George, his face, still peaceful even, like he was asleep, but cold. Next, Gift, my baby girl, her glasses still on her face. Cracked, bent, last, Victor. He still had one Spider-Man sock on. I fell to the floor. I think I stopped breathing. Days passed, or maybe it was weeks. Time stopped mattering. People came with coolers of food. They cried. They held my hand. They said things like, be strong and God knows best. But none of it reached me. I would sit in my living room, staring at the walls, unable to move. I stopped eating. I forgot how to smile. I couldn't sleep in our bed. I made a spot on the living room floor and stayed there, night after night. Sometimes I'd wake up and set the table for 4, then just sit and cry. I would call George's phone just to hear his voicemail. I would replay old videos of the kids singing Baby Shark and laugh until the laughter turned into sobs. I wanted to die. I looked at buses and imagined walking in front of them. I stood on bridges and stared at the water below. But I never jumped. Somehow, every morning, I kept waking up. One day, a woman came to visit, an older woman from church. Her name was Madame Comfort. She had lost her husband and 2 sons during the Civil War. She sat with me for hours. We didn't speak much. Then she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Grief is not something you conquer. It's something you carry, but you decide how." I didn't understand it then, but I never forgot it. Weeks turned into months. I returned to work eventually, not because I was ready, but because I had to survive. The house was silent. I got rid of George's shirts, but kept one, a white one with blue stripes. I wear it sometimes, especially when I miss him most. I boxed up the kids' toys, but I couldn't throw away Gift's books or Victor's Spider Man costume. Their room is still the same, untouched. Slowly, painfully, I began to find pieces of myself. A parent who had also lost a child came to my school one day. She had heard my story. We talked. Then another woman reached out, then another. I didn't know there were so many of us, mothers, wives, fathers, sisters, all walking around with invisible wounds. So I started speaking. Quietly, at first, then to small groups, then larger ones. I began to tell my story, not because I had healed, but because I hadn't. Because the world expects silence from grieving women. But I wanted to be loud with my pain. I wanted other people to know they weren't alone. People sometimes ask if I've moved on. I tell them, no. How can you move on from losing your heart? But I've learned to live with the pain. I go to church again. I light candles for them every year. I've even traveled a bit. I saw the ocean in Ghana and imagined my children running along the shore. I smile more now. I laugh sometimes. Not because the pain is gone, but because I've learned how to carry it. There are still hard days. Gift's birthday. Victor's first tooth. The anniversary of the crash. On those days, I wear George's shirt, play his favorite jazz song, and let myself cry. I cry until I can't anymore. Then I breathe. Then I keep going. If you're still listening, still watching, maybe you've lost something too. Maybe your world also stopped shining. And if it did, I want to say this. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not alone. You are surviving something impossible. And that in itself is a kind of victory. Some days the sun shines for me again. Not as bright, not the same, but enough to see the road ahead. And when I speak, I carry their names with me. George, Gift, Victor. My loves, my forever light. Even in the shadow, I walk with them. Thanks for watching. To support this channel, please do subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one.